Welcome back to Rebuilding Astroworld. This is Swag, and we're going to start our journey going to a new area of the park that's not the original entrance area. So I had a vote. We looked at going into the medieval section, going up into the western section, or going over into the boardwalk section of the park. And it was a resounding vote because I think it was like 17 people voted for the boardwalk section, and we had maybe 6 for the western and like 6 for the medieval. So I am a little excited because we're not building buildings in the Americana land. We're actually going to start doing rides. Now, over here, we're going to have, this is a Skycoaster. And a Skycoaster is that usually an upcharge ride where they pull somebody up very high up. They're just like on a giant swing. They let them go and they're swinging around like crazy. So there's a Skycoaster right here. Originally in the park, there was this really awesome Ferris wheel called the Astro Wheel, and it has 2 different arms, and like while one's moving, the other one's getting loaded, and it like switches back and forth. And then there's a classic car ride. There's, of course, Texas Cyclone, which is the large wooden coaster. And then over here, there's a couple of buildings. The biggest one right here, this might be the biggest building in the park, is a theater where they had a lot of cool shows. And then over here is sort of a boardwalk style food court. It's not a very tall building, but it aesthetically looks pretty cool. So I think the first thing I want to get going on is organizing the track pieces. You see I have track pieces everywhere because some things are used for the tables in this little shed, or some are the curbs for the pathways, and some are the roof pieces. So what I really want to do is get them all organized. I'll probably put them on top of this building right here, and all the different variations of colors that each thing has, and then I'm going to name them. That's going to be the first step so that we can clean up the area, which allows us to really shift things around. I think this water's a little too far to the right. I want to move it a little bit closer over here to the main entrance area, and that's going to be the first thing we're going to do. So let's get to naming and organizing our track types. So I've got all of the used track pieces over here in this section of the park. You can see with the yellow colors, these are alternative colors I haven't used yet on these track pieces. So that's a good way for me to be like, okay, do I need to make another wooden coaster to make a roof in that side of the park? No, I can go grab this one and just change its color to whatever color I need to use. Some of them aren't going to be as useful. The Giga Track honestly isn't too useful. I use it as a diagonal window in this building right here. But outside of that, it's not really that useful when it comes to decorations, maybe in some more modern designs here or there. But you can see the wall piece. Man, that monorail wall is like super useful. I've already used 2 full colors of one track type, and I'm sure I'm going to have to do more in the future. But yep, that's a very usable piece. Go monorail. Okay, so I want to cover up the back of this building and not just like decorate it like the front of the building. I just want to do a flat back wall that will give us some shape so we know like in the future this is going to be closed up. I was going to do the same thing for this section, but there are a couple more buildings that are a part of this large building unit. So I probably want to get to these 2 and then finish the whole building off. So complete that building and then finish it as like a decorated complete building. And then we have some buildings here. And then I really got to figure out if I'm going to shift this water over or not. I think we do want to, because this ride and this ride actually both never existed at the same time in the same way it is in the last Into the Park. So I got to figure out how I want to place this dual Ferris wheel, and we'll work the path around it. So for now, I'm going to just finish off the back of this building and then look at what we're going to do for this larger building over here. So I've been working on this Skycoaster Barnstormer, and it took me a while to figure out why my station wasn't working, thanks to another builder, 94. I was chatting with him, and we managed to make things work. So now I'm going to invis the coaster track, and it looks like the station's still there, so I'm going to use the invisibility thing on this tile inspector, and you can see that it's just like a person's body that's going to be flying around just like they are in real life. And then what I'll do in the next time lapse is I'm going to move the stations down a little bit because the coaster car isn't a hanging car, so it's below the track. So to make it look right, we're going to lower the station just a little bit, and then we'll make the queue that goes out to the eventual pathway. The area is not going to be finished, so I'm just going to make the queue. I'm not going to decorate it or anything. And then once I get to this area, I'll decorate it and, get rid of the queue path. So hopefully this works. So you might have seen in the time lapse that my first customer died. That did not happen, and I refuse to comment on anything regarding that situation. Just didn't happen, okay, everybody? This is Barnstormer. This is a Skycoaster. It's an upcharge attraction, and it is our first ride in the park that has used peeps. Now, you're seeing that my pathing is going in a direction that's not actual to the park layout. I just know that with all of my proxy pathing in the entrance, they're going to get lost trying to go around these buildings over here. So I just cut it through just to test it, and then eventually I'll remove this pathing or maybe make it underground, hidden away. A lot of times that's a good way of getting people across the park without them getting lost. But yeah, for now, Barnstormer is our first ride in the park. It's not decorated, but that'll come once we get more context to the area, and that's going to make it so I can put pathing the right way. I can put other rides and see the sight lines, because you see this thing's super duper tall, and it's going to cut into the sight lines of other areas of the park, like this main entrance plaza. I know we're going to have probably some foliage cover up the pathing too to help the curves look a little bit better. But that's going to wrap up this episode. We added, 5 new buildings, we organized our track pieces, and we built our first ride in the park. Congratulations to me. I finally made it to a ride. I think the future episodes, we're probably going to add some more rides so that we can get the pathing contextualized. And maybe you guys can help me vote in the comments which rides you want to see done first. We've got this dual Ferris wheel. We've got a car ride. And honestly, you could vote for more buildings, because we can just do more buildings if you like that so much. We also got to work on this backstage area, because that's going to be really important to creating the scene of a real park. So thanks for watching. Go ahead, like, comment, and subscribe. And in the links, you'll see DKMP. That's where you're going to help be able to vote on what we do in the future. But other than that, thanks for watching. Have a good one.